What's next? Who can he fight? He's not getting a champion, unfortunately. Is he fighting Ant?
Y'all asking me who he's fighting?
Yeah, who you want to see, Ant?
I'm Team Ennis. I'm not throwing him up there in the top 5 yet, man. I guess if you lose, it's kind of like a Canelo situation where it doesn't really kill him.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to go back 2 fights and go again.
I'm not sure if the opportunity is even there to fight a guy in the top 5, to be honest.
Yeah. Who can out the top 5? I don't even know. Who's even in the middle.
That's the issue. Like Jamal James is one that's kind of thrown around there. Who is the kid? Who was the kid that was?
You don't want to fight Jaron Ennis.
Yeah. Who was the kid that was supposed to be a mandatory for Errol with the IBF? Was it Akdudkarov? He's from Uzbekistan. He was like he was going to be a mandatory. He's like 18-0, something to that effect, and he was like kind of going to be in the mix there. He's another guy, maybe, but like I think he blows that dude's doors off. Like,
and Carson, even if you do throw him in there with a top 5 guy, is he a draw? Like my lady didn't know who he was. She was like, "Who's this Boots?" Guy? Yeah, it's like he's a draw to us.
Yeah,
but like outside, there's like the core boxing, and then it's another level out there. Then it's a Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao level.
Yeah,
I think he's just at the 4 level.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was for me before I fought Alexander Devin. It was like if you were a hardcore boxing fan, you knew who I was. If you watch boxing here and there, you didn't know who I was. But after that fight, it was kind of like, all right, that's Shawn Porter. When's he fighting again? You know what I mean? So I think the same thing would go for Boots. I think it's just really he's a fight away from being a big time fighter.
I don't know who it is.
If he steps up and fight one of you guys and loses, does it hurt him?
Not drastically, I don't think.
It doesn't. I mean, this is what I always say about a loss, and I think that this is what gets lost. And what gets lost in it is it's not about losing, it's all about how you lose. You know what I mean? And so for a guy like Boots who's young, you can always, I think, the best comparison we do have nowadays is the fight between Mayweather and Canelo, saying that Canelo was too soon for Canelo. And I think the same thing would go now if he was to, lose to a guy that just slightly outboxed him and, kind of maybe a guy like me, maybe rough him up a little bit or something like that, getting to do anything different, getting to perform any different than he normally does. And I think if anything, people are saying, okay, he lost that one, but he'll be back. I don't really think that. And I think that boxing is kind of, again, it's hard to say where boxing is going now. I think everybody wants boxing to be just like the UFC. The UFC puts the best against the best. And I think that people they're almost willing to accept the loss with the understanding that we just saw 2 great guys get in the ring and one guy lost. It is what it is. That should be the mindset, but it's not normally the mindset especially not for boxing fans. Yeah.
When there's just not, I keep going back to it, but there's just not a lot of middle ground. So it's tough. It's either you're fighting somebody that's either a has-been or a never was, and you kind of a step up, or it's to the top. It's to the top 5. It's to Errol, Bud, you, Ugas. It's just tough that I just don't see, like, what if a guy like Conor Benn, if he's like, I'll fight him, you beat Conor Benn, it's like, all right, cool. You beat him, then what's next? So it's just, it's tough. He's, but he is.
I got the sense from him last night, like he wasn't really rushing. Like it didn't seem like he,
seems ready.
Yeah, he does seem ready. He does seem confident, but it doesn't seem like he's like, all right, give me the big dogs, and I don't want nothing else,
Because look at what if Lomachenko had beat Teofimo, to what you said, Ant, where like he loses. I don't think any of us would have been like, Teofimo's garbage. You lost to Lomachenko. Like you lost to an elite fighter. I think Ant made a really good point about the marketing aspect of it, where boxing fans absolutely know Boots Ennis. He's on the come up. He's kind of getting a little bit of mainstream crossover,
right?
But I don't think the risk reward makes sense for a guy like, I'm just gonna say, you.
Right.
It also doesn't make sense financially because the draw is not going to be there,
right.
whether it's in a stadium or not.
Right.
So yeah, it's just a tough spot, but the hype train is real. Like anyone listening and wants to comment, tell me a flaw you saw in Boots Ennis. And
listen,
you're embarrassing yourself.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this because I was texting somebody. I'm not gonna say who it was, but somebody texted me and said, is Jaron Ennis the real deal? And this was after like 2 rounds.
Your response better have been Holyfield.
We were in the 3rd round, and he said, is this dude really the real? Is this dude really the real? I said, he's a welterweight Roy Jones Jr.
That is a high praise. And you're not wrong, but that is high praise.
I gotta see him in there with better competition.
Yeah.
Hey, Roy did it just like that. Roy did it just like that. And then when they stepped up the competition, he continued to do it just like that.
You know what he said? They say I didn't fight nobody. I just make them look like nobody.
So.
I really think if he got a shot at one of these top 5 guys, it would be like Loma Tio and not like Canelo Floyd. Yeah. I think he beat Ugas right now. You know, I think
he beats Ugas.
I think he could beat Spence. You know, I
think Spence stops it.
I don't think so. And
does he beat
something big, and he's had never been there before?
Does he beat Shawn Porter?
I will never make a Shawn Porter pick on this podcast.
Oh, that's all we do. Boo.
Shawn Porter.
That's love.
That's the Porter way, is not making predictions.
Any other fight but Shawn's.
I think he gives Shawn hell. I think Shawn might get him just because of work rate and physically, but I don't think that's a walk in the park for you by any stretch.
The first fight at 8, it's gonna be 50-50. That Porter pressure, he's not ready for that, man. He has not he's never faced nothing like that. Yeah. That top level. Like Earl's gonna beat the shit out of him. But it's gonna be physical for 4 rounds, and then Earl's gonna beat the shit out of him.
Listen, when you got a guy like Jaron grew up doing this. You say he's never fought a guy like me, but you never saw him fight in the Golden Gloves. You never saw him fight in the U.S. Championships. You never saw him fight in the Olympic trials. Even though you're not fighting a guy that fights just like me, when you got to fight for 6 days consecutively, you take your mind and your body through some things, and it's like, and it all adds up and it plays its part when it's supposed to. So I've never really been one for, well, we haven't seen him against this or that yet. I've really never been one for that, because I always felt like styles make fights. And when you're guy, like I always talked about myself, I'm a Showtime fighter. It don't matter what time of day it is. When the lights come on, I'm ready. I don't care what I was doing 2 hours before the fight. When the lights come on, it's just something about it. I'm ready. And that's how Jaron is. Jaron is like, he's just one of those guys that you put him in the ring with Shawn Porter. You put him in the ring with Errol Spence Jr. We can all say he's only got 26 fights.
He up there. Yeah, he's up there.
27 fights. He's only got that. But and he may not be ready yet. He's 27-0. Yeah. He may not be ready yet. He's still young. I think he's only 23. But it's just one of them situations where he gets in the ring and that night is the night for him.
Hey, Sean Jatel. So my thing is, I'm not taking nothing away from you. I'm just, when you get up there, even with Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao, any one of those guys, every round's going to be a championship round. Mm-hmm. Do he got championship round in for 12 rounds?
Go ahead and
That's
say
a good question.
Zytel. They saw you on Twitter. Go ahead and repeat it.
I just think it's like what Shawn just said is, all of a sudden when you fight someone better, there's a lot more coming your way, but you still bring everything to the table that you did against those lesser fighters. He when he fights Errol Spence, his hands aren't going to be any slower. Mm-hmm. The variety punches are still going to be there. He's still going to beat Boots Ennis, and I just think he's got more than Errol. Errol got great fundamentals, and Shawn, correct me if I'm saying something stupid in the middle of this, but Errol is excellent. Like he's long and he's big and he's He's got better defense and ranginess than maybe it looks, but compared to Boots, he's kind of basic.
Okay.
You know, like Boots got more sauce. He's a little more fluid up top.
You can see it. And the shorts help.
Huh?
Shorts
help.
They help the
sauce. You know, this kid is nice. He's the first boogeyman. Errol was the last boogeyman. He's the new boogeyman. And I think this boogeyman got more tools. You know, that's it. I just think if he fights him, it'll be a little bit like Loma and Tio. It'll be close. It'll be a close fight. But I think this young guy just got more. Got more.
Go ahead.
That's it.
I'm sold on him. I'm completely sold on Boots Ennis. I remember some months back, Dame Lillard was hyping him up and talking about him and all that. And I shot Dame a text last night like, yeah, he's special. He's different because he really is. And I think Dame like really just been tuned in like hardcore. And for me, last night was the night where I was like, all right, all eyes on Jaron. Let me see what you got. And I mean, with 6 rounds, and I don't think that there was anything that he didn't show that you could wonder whether or not he's got.
That's what I'm saying.
Even the stuff that like he threw great straight rights to the body, but he threw some good hooks to the body, but he didn't go exclusively to the body. But if you were to ask me right now, do you think Jaron, if he had to dig deep and goes exclusively to the body and break somebody down, I'd be like, yeah, I would put my money that he could slip and get down and do what he's got to do to get there, whether he did it from the southpaw or the orthodox side. He's the real deal.
So because this is you and because there was obviously the top guys were all mentioned with Boots.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned the business kind of doesn't make sense. Does the competitor in you just want to test yourself against him? Like, I want to see how real this dude is.
The competitor in me got up this morning and ran. The competitor in me got up this morning and ran. So let's just keep it like that. You know what I mean? Like the competitor in me said, man, there's some young guys out here. They keep saying my name. This is literally what I said. They keep saying my name. I know I'm not going to get in the ring with them. But if that happens to happen, let me get on this run right quick. I don't see myself getting in the ring with Jaron. Don't see myself getting in the ring with Virgil Ortiz. Don't see myself getting in the ring with Conor Ben. Those kids, those young men are the future of boxing. They're definitely the future of the welterweight division. And I'm not done with this, but while I'm doing it, I'm not getting in the ring with them young dudes.
Yeah. And also to people that would criticize you for that, Errol's not going to do that, and Bud isn't going to do that, and Ugas isn't going to do that. So it's not like you exclusive. Like none of them are like, hell yeah, I can't wait to fight Boots Ennis.
But I get it now. I didn't get it then, but I get it now. And so like just to kind of, and I'll make it quick. When I was saying, oh yeah, I want to fight Manny Pacquiao, and then and I want to fight Floyd Mayweather, then there were guys that would kind of, I guess, quote unquote, just below those guys like Marquez and like Shane Mosley. Even at that point in time, the Andre Berto, you know, those kind of guys, and all those kind of guys was like, I'm not fighting you. What do I got to fight you for? I don't need to fight you. I've been there. I've done that. And I'm making this amount of money. And until you can command this amount of money, I'm not going to do it. Furthermore, you're not going to mess around and give me a hard night. And then everybody looking at me twisted.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat you, but everybody going to be looking at me twisted after the fight. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where we are now.
Paulie and Keith, that was like this whole conversation, this topic, that interaction is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It was like, Paulie was just like, cool. Like you did great.
Yeah.
Get up here. We fight for prize fighting.
Yeah.
Once you get the business right. And we Keith, don't duck me, son.
Hey, I gotta fight for Jaron.
Okay. Not it.
AB. He ain't gonna make 140 anyways.
He stops bro. He stops him.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Do you not want him to get hurt? Like what's
what? I'm saying
he stops AB with it before the 8th round.
I think AB can take an ass whooping.
No.
Yeah, he's
not this one. Not this one.
Hey, Shawn, it's different.
Yeah.
Because I think that with Boots, it's not going to be. It can be one shot that puts you out, but he's so skilled, it's going to be 50 shots that puts you out. So, no, I think he smokes AB. And you know I'm an AB fan, but
dang.
Yeah.
I
All
ain't nothing for
respect
you.
to AB, but he would meet his demise in that fight.
Shawn, you
with a
saying
loss,
that,
not
like,
his permanent demise.
No, not permanent.
Go ahead.
Oh, Lord.
You were saying in that fight. Well, Shawn said in that fight he would meet his demise. I was like, whoa. Shout out to AB, Ohio's own. Go ahead, Zaito.
That was too much. I put too much on it.
Yeah, it was very ominous when you said demise.
Yeah. Don't tell me you didn't enjoy what you saw, because I know you did. What you need to do now, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit that notification button. Check us out every week, every Tuesday, something new for you right here on the Porterweight Podcast.